label try to stop me, it'll be another label, wish they wouldn't sign me. You don't want no problems, no problems with me. You don't want no problems, no problems with me. Just another day.
Oh, they'll play Boo That.
That's ain't right.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no problems with me.
Just move it up.
It wasn't another label try to stop me, it'll be another label, wish they wouldn't sign me. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no problems with me. Just another day, another song, another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she go. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she go. Ooh, I be grinding, writing songs, doing gigs in the studio, recording every day. That's how it is. 2 hours up late all night, no sleep. Got a show, hit the crib, change clothes. That's how it be. Life of a nut-ass, trying to get signed, y'all. Ain't gon' let no label rob me, I'ma shine, yo. Not me, yo. You can keep those contracts, that's whack, not me, yo. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she go. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she go. I've been busy pushing records on my own. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, videos like me. Follow me on social media. Labels want you to have 1 million followers. Won't sign me, don't mind me. I do the work on my own independently. I'ma keep trying, I'ma keep shining. Putting work every day, stay grinding. Life of an artist, trying to get signed, y'all. Ain't gon' let no label round me, I'ma shine, yo. Not me, yo. You can keep those contracts, that's whack, not me, yo. You don't want no problems with me.
No problems.
You don't want
Hey.
no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she go.
You don't want no problems with me. Say,
You don't want no problems with me.
just another song. Walk up on the stage,
Just one more label,
try to stop me.
it'll be another label, wish they would've signed me.
You don't want no problems with me. Say, hey. Well, welcome to another IAG radio show. We are so proud to have Dupont Brass in the official building with us. You know what I'm saying? We're missing about like 7 of y'all, but y'all are heavy in rotation in terms of being present on tonight.
We here in spirit.
Absolutely, representation is here. Welcome back, MK Zulu. You've been on the radio show, you know what I'm saying?
Nice to be here again.
Absolutely. You a routine visitor, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that.
What's up, Tony? What's up, Brent? Hi. What's good? What's going on, Tori and Bevan and DJ Treb in the back? We got a little den, I guess, the IAG den situation. Like this is like what's like TRL? You know what I'm saying? Y'all just chilling in the back.
It feels good to have him back here with me.
Oh, you got company for once.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So listen, y'all, if this is your first time joining us for IAG Radio Show, thank you so much and welcome. Here at IAG, we are making sure that we support independent artists by providing them a welcoming and positive platform to showcase and share their artistry. And so that's what we do every single Wednesday, rain or shine. The only time we was off was last week for 4th of July when people were just enjoying cookouts and good music, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. So listen. Let's get into some things. First and foremost, DJ Trev and I, we just literally came from Beat the Streets over there at 2600 Douglas Road Southeast. Shout out to the Metropolitan Police Department, Mayor Bowser, Trayon White, Councilman Trayon White, and everybody that was out there getting it with us on the stage. We appreciate you and love you very much. Beat the Streets is basically about making sure that you are making sure that there's less violence and more safe opportunities to enjoy and to interact with MPD, because obviously there's so many things in the world right now that shows us that the police are not necessarily always our best of friend, right? So we have to show positivity and show more of the opportunities that they are, and that they're here to protect us and to kind of, lift us up. Shout out to my former students that came out to vibe with me. I really appreciate them being there today. That meant so much love and joy. That meant so much to me. Listen, so there's a lot of things that's going on. First and foremost, Trev, do you have this? Because we kind of did it for our set. I don't know if you still have it. But, there's this popular dance that's going on. It's about, this girl named Kiki.
Kiki.
And, I feel bad for Kiki because it's kind of like, Aisha. So everybody that probably has a name that's in a song, they just going to be Kiki, do you love me? Do you running? That I never let it go. Who knows the song to this?
I don't even know the drum's called.
Can't say I do.
What?
They got too many songs already.
Y'all don't know this joint? Everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, I
seen it.
can sing
can't-
this.
Like, I feel
part,
like
but I
Dupont
don't-
Brass shots do a cover of it. And you know what I'm saying? Brent, you should just turn around and be like, on the tuba, you know what I'm saying? And just show them what's really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, switch it up. They're going to be like, oh, snap, I cannot believe, y'all, this is, you just hit it. You know what I'm saying? But definitely the guy, Shiggy, is the comedian that actually started the dance. And it's crazy because it's a comedian that started the dance and it's gone viral. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has been doing it. And finally, Drake did it at his concert. I think that's the dopest experience ever, to kind of start something from nothing. And then the official artist is the person who's going out there and like, yeah, I'm going to do a dance that y'all did in my song. I think that's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? In terms of other things that are going on, this heat has been a lot. Last week it was a heat wave. I don't know what y'all were doing, but I think it's imperative we stay hydrated because it's just so much heat that's going on, right? It's just like, I don't even drink, what is this called? LaCrosse? I don't even know. But listen, I was like, I need flavored sparkling water. Like, it's necessary. Like, it's this way that you got to stay hydrated. So I hope you guys are staying hydrated. Get yourself a drink. But if you want to get relaxed and all that kind of stuff, it's cool. Go ahead and get you a Washington apple. That's my favorite, actually, beverage to have. But anyway.
Yeah, you're not supposed to drink alcohol really in the heat like that.
I mean, I was talking to the people who were sitting down on the couch right now.
Okay.
Who were in the IAG experience, the IAG suite. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Just cool out now.
Cool out.
Absolutely,
now.
whole time.
We don't want them to pass out later.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying? We definitely don't want no insurance claims coming our way either.
No lawsuits.
No lawsuits whatsoever. So y'all, what else is going on? I just want to open it up for discussion. Like, what else is on your mind? What else do you have thinking about?
One thing first, let me say, I'm not really mad at the heat because
wow,
we just got through what is that? A polar vortex. I'd much rather be hot.
It was cold.
Yeah,
I would much rather be hot. I couldn't even walk my dog. I had to carry him. Like he couldn't walk on his own.
Oh no!
And he's like 80 pounds. He's not a no light dog. So
that's why you swole, or that's just
Nah, I'm just.
That's just, oh, by the way, I just swole and then I have to carry my dog. Yeah, I get it. So, I mean, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? All of us can't get swole from carrying a dog.
I did see something kind of crazy on Twitter. It was this woman, black woman. She just, got a deal to have her water sold in Walmart.
Oh, cool.
But then some people were like mad because they were saying like privatization of water isn't good. But I'm like, if you don't believe in privatization of water, then are you going to rivers and with buckets getting your own water?
Right.
Like, what are you drinking?
Double standing like a
Lord,
mug.
it's raining.
Not to mention it's already privatized. Like,
But you
there's
know what's
already
crazy?
Mad water
Yeah.
companies all over.
And
the
I've never
Right.
heard of this before she was selling her water. So I'm just like,
Of course.
you can't just be happy for it.
Of course not. We always got to hate, and throw some shade out there. But, in some states, it's actually illegal to even retain rainwater, which is a purified form of water, because it's taxes related to that. So, like, it's very ingenious that she most certainly can have that going on. Absolutely. And shout out to another black woman who decided to climb the state's empire. Lady Statue of Liberty. I knew it was something. I knew it was Stat Lib somebody's. Something. She was standing up. Empire. Yeah. This is just a big. Okay, just sorry. So definitely shout out to her, because I swear I saw no gear whatsoever.
She levitated up that John. I don't know how.
But some bomb shoes. Like, she had amazing shoes. Like her calf muscles must be off the chain. And I think her thing is stop resisting, you know, and I thought it was amazing that she decided to even climb up that statue. I don't think anybody has climbed up except the people who were there putting it together.
And
So
peep how the organization she was with denied her at first. And that organization caught a lot of heat on Twitter for not recognizing her as being a part of the demonstration that they organized for that day.
wow.
Yeah, and then only after they got on them did they recognize and say, "Oh yeah, she is, you know, with us, this, that, the other."
Wow. I mean, come on,
You gotta
young.
be mindful of, you know, how far we go to support certain causes. 'Cause
Right.
all the causes we support, there's a lot of people that don't always turn around and reciprocate that kind of support.
Yeah.
They're not there for us when we always are stepping out there. We got to be mindful of that. But you know, she's
Indeed.
on the right side of the cause, I think. But I think we should watch how far or how quickly we ought to jump out there for other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's word for sure. And I definitely think that we have to do. I think the doing is what people kind of don't do. We do the reposting, right? Because that's easy, and we'll do a hashtag. But like people who actually legitimately are making those sacrifices that are parallel to those that were having sit-ins in the 60s, like that's the demonstrations that are really important. And I definitely think she's going to get a bomb attorney, and those charges will be dropped without a problem, you know, because there's people who do crazier things and they get dropped as well. So I definitely think, you know.
Yeah, and that organization, I hate that I forgot the name of it, but they are covering her legal expenses. They're picking up the tab for her, you know, for a lawyer and so forth. So she should be good.
Yeah.
She's going to do a little time.
A little time, like, you know, like sit in jail for a quick second, or like, nah, here goes your uniform and here's your meals.
We're going to see how good the lawyer is. But
Oh,
let's
wow.
give her a little
Really?
time. Yeah, you're going to do it. You're going to do some time.
Wow.
It may not be prison time. She may be in jail.
You'd be
It
surprised
may
what you
be
go to
time.
jail for.
I mean, there's a lot of people who go to jail for like nothing.
Speaking of
I
which,
already
you
know it.
It's crazy that that we even talking about this, and you were talking about you know, just reposting and actually doing something, because we're dealing with this right now, like the arts community, because they're trying to stop us from doing live performances on the street.
Amplified.
Yeah.
That was gonna be MB with the T.
You know,
but
so
okay.
that's crazy, because you know that's where we come from.
Oh, by the way. Oh, just in case you ain't know, we was hip, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead, MK Zulu.
I'm just,
No, just put it out there, bro. Let them know, you know.
you know, they trying to stop live performance, especially with amplified
Music.
technology and music
Right.
and all that stuff, and you know, it's just one thing is leading to another. It's getting out of hand, and I think they're really just trying to strip the city of the culture.
Exactly.
So
Trev
people
just
are
said
saying,
that, literally.
Don't just make a retweet. Like, let's really try to take some action, even if it's sending an email, or like even if it's, you know, showing up to some event. But like, it's gonna take more than that. We have to be active, or this is gonna be gone before we know it.
Absolutely. I'm going to shout out Herbert Scott, who is a saxophone player who has been pushing things for jazz and just trying to make sure that the jazz community is appreciated and respected. He's done a lot of work there. Especially, I've seen Malik, the dope drummer, out there actually sitting in the actual meetings, right? And I looked and I said, dang, there's like nobody in there with him. I think there was like 3 other people with him, right? And I had responded to him like, yo, next time let somebody know that you're going. I mean, because everybody posts about everything else. Why not make a flyer and say, yo, meet me here at this time and let's show up in numbers? Because then that's overwhelming to see an entire, you know, council member seeing like a plethora of people present, you know, and I just feel like that's just the backwards way of gentrifying, trying to ratify what they feel is appropriate culture for them, what they want, you know, within the certain means. And just simply, it's interesting how like we had the World Cup and bars were able to stay open till 4:00 in the morning.
Exactly. Going crazy.
And that's never happened before. But I think there was probably packs and money behind that deal. But yet when it's like the culture of like the U Street, like, you know, the whole idea of the Funk Parade was to ensure that music is brought back. Now, granted, the Funk Parade is originally started by a Caucasian gentleman. You would think that it's an African-American person. To me, it doesn't matter. It's about understanding the origin of the music and trying to rescue it and save it and preserve it. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what your color of your skin is, so long as you understand how important it is for musicians that are street musicians to be respected. I mean, Dupont Brass, did you guys not start on the street?
Started on the street. If it wasn't for us playing on the street, I wouldn't have never graduated from college. Like
Whole
for
time.
real. Like we made our money. Like we had a tuition sign. People didn't believe us, but
We was
I
going towards
I promise you, it went to our tuition for real.
Wonderful. That is amazing. People probably want some receipts about that, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you finally got a degree. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to check in with Brett. Brett's my man right here. He's just so chill. And he just smiles like, yeah. But if he get up on stage with that tuba though, he be playing every single part. He got background. He put backgrounds in his own tuba experience, like whole time.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's that humble situation. It's a humble thing.
No, you know, like when you go to your friend's house for like the first couple of times, you're like, wow, bro, your mom is really nice.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, nah, she not like that for real.
Yeah.
That's Brent.
Oh.
No, I got love for Brent, but Brent is like Suge Knight, where he just don't hurt people for real.
Oh my God. It's a front. Damn, Brent. It's all good. But listen, y'all, let's wrap it up. Has anybody else got any thoughts and things that we want to talk about real quickly before we get started with the official show? Treb, Torian.
I think you covered everything. I think we have some good things we talked about.
All right, bet.
I'm excited to hear more about how they paid for this tuition.
Clearly.
Oh, I got a story. I remember it like it was yesterday. I can tell y'all now.
Go ahead and tell a story right now.
We were at McPherson Square. All right, so I was listening to my advisor. I had to come back for extra semester because I could not pass algebra. So,
oh,
that's what
snap. Algebra. Mm.
It's because I was taking a lot of auditions and just playing it. Because my idea was like, the point of beginning school was to get a job playing. So I took my playing more seriously than some of my classes.
Okay, I can
So
dig
that's
it.
the
Just
thing.
one semester? That ain't bad. Just one semester.
Yeah, had to come back for extra. I mean, but when you know you're
Sounds
old,
like it was all four.
when you know
It
you're
was
old,
fine.
when you know you're old, then it's like Anyway,
It's okay.
came
Tom.
back,
okay.
had a balance. So we still playing on the street. We were playing at McPherson Square. Somebody came up to us they were like, "You playing for tuition?" We were like, yes. And they were like, "How much is your balance?" My balance was $8,000. That's what I needed to graduate. And then she wrote a check and then sent it to Howard.
Young, do you need to keep that woman as your sponsor for Dupont Brass?
Yeah,
In addition to
yeah.
Krispy Kreme, y'all need to have that woman.
But I mean, it's
Didn't even meet her. She's like on the trustee board. So we didn't even meet her. She's like on the trustee board. What happened was it was her like assistant or like administrator, whoever that she actually works with and like who does like all her materials,
Okay.
handles all that stuff. He saw us on the street and he put us.
My bad.
He's like really liked our calls. And he just asked us about our balances. He gave us like a card and he said, "Email me what you owe, and I'll see if she'll be willing to donate to you," because she donates to the school pretty frequently. So it was like four of us with like huge back balances. I want to say like two were like 5,000, one was 6,000, and Anthony was 8,000. I emailed him the total, and then she cleared it, and he wrote a check, sent it off.
My God, if you don't talk about support, that's severe support.
all that happened from us playing on the street. And then before that, I mean, people's donations has really kept us afloat like that whole time, like leading up to that point. For real.
Wow. Let's applaud the woman that was the angel that came through in a clutch for real. Like, it's those type of things that matter not only to a musician, but to a person in general. Like, just being able to be blessed enough to be like, yo, I support you. I hear what you're doing. I don't want you to struggle or be concerned about this. Because, I mean, I feel like as an independent artist, that's the biggest struggle, money. Money is like the biggest struggle ever. In addition to finding good people who can be reliable, supportive, and respond back to emails, don't dodge phone calls or text messages. Listen, I won't.
I'll do better.
Right, exactly. But it's all good. Listen, y'all, it's time for us to go to our special part of the show. It's called Be With the T. 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 Ow.
What they say.
Tori was a little.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't catch up. I was like, oh,
It's all good.
Y'all put me in the back of the bus today.
it's all good.
Oh my God. The last shall be first and the first shall be last.
Uh-oh.
Put me in the back of the bus.
It's not the
It's
back.
okay. I like the back of the bus.
That's where we
Where's
party.
that from, bro?
Just a little news today. MK Zulu kind of touched on it. I wanted to talk about that amplified noise bill that was actually withdrawn after pushback from DC artists and residents. So, just going out, making your phone calls, sending your emails, being present if you could, protesting, standing out there. I saw Malik the drummer too. I saw Kenny Sway. It was
yes.
quite a few people that were definitely, like, oh hell no. And their oh hell no, cause a drawback, which is always good, because I honestly, when I go out in the city, which is very rare, but when I do, I enjoy hearing people playing on the streets like that. I always stop if I'm at Gallery Place. Somebody's always doing something at Gallery Place. I always stop and I always listen because I enjoy it. A city is a city. A city is meant to be noisy and lively, and I think people that are coming in and trying to push others out, they are trying to bring the suburbs to the city.
Right.
If you want to live in the suburbs, go live in the suburbs.
Absolutely.
If you want to live in the city, you live in the city, and you know what comes with that, a kind of a noisy environment. I heard somebody say earlier today on the radio, they built the baseball stadium, and they got the houses right there. You don't hear people saying, oh, it's too much noise after those baseball games and we need to shut that down. No, you don't see that.
Mm-hmm. They probably do, but there's somebody pushing it to be shut down. But think about the video that went viral that you did, Bevan, from DC Funk Parade of the trombone player. Like, it was real short. The guy was out playing,
He's talking about Sterling. Yeah,
was it Sterling, Bevan?
I honestly don't remember his name.
What do he look like?
He was tall and light skinned.
Light skin, yeah. And he uses.
That's our bro, Sterling. Yeah.
Shout out to Sterling, bro.
Yeah.
CeeLo Soul.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's him. That's it. CeeLo Soul. But yeah, definitely stop trying to take the culture out the city, people. Please. Like, it was here before you. It's going to be here after you when you decide you no longer want to live in the city and you're ready to move back to Arlington.
It's actually a big part of what drew them to the city.
Everything will be Arlington, Manassas, Alexandria.
Woodbridge.
Hey, DC got suburbs too. Take that to Tinleytown if you want to be like quiet.
Oh,
you're
right.
You gotta live downtown.
This is true.
This is very true.
You right. Take that over there. Take that over off of Michigan Avenue or something. I don't know. But in other news, we have congratulations going out to Cardi B and Offset. They did welcome the birth of their baby girl, Culture Kiari Cephas.
Oh, no shade. Oh
my God,
you don't want this smoke. We don't want no smoke, Cardi.
I don't want no smoke.
We don't want any smoke.
No.
I love Cardi B and for real, I like Migos.
But the pause was everything, though, Bevan. The pause, you paused, and it paused everybody. Everybody was like,
like that's you.
Send all comments to Bevan.
You can. That's fine. I've taken a social media hiatus, so I won't see any of those comments. So it's no problem. Go ahead, send them on. We don't
want no problems. Oh no,
I have the app on my phone. Thank you. But yeah, congratulations. I bet that baby is really, really cute. Even though the last name is Cephas. That's funny.
Hey, Cephas is a wise name.
Cephas is a good old country down south.
Oh my God!
Pork chops and
running barefoot.
That's
and running barefoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to sit on the stove. You go get well water every morning. That I like. Cephas is fine with me. That's Cardi B's last name because that's her husband. So we're not even going to keep doing that.
Right? No shade.
And then in other news, we want to just be really appreciative and grateful for things that are going on in other nations or in other countries, like the rescue of the 12 boys from out of that cave. That was crazy. You got stuck in a cave. Could you imagine being stuck in Luray Caverns
No,
for 12
ma'am.
days?
No.
It's beautiful, but you can't get
Nah, not for 12 days though, T. How you gonna say it's beautiful?
It's dark in that.
Nah, you gonna be out. What's that movie that they was Shawshank Redemption out that joint?
They didn't have no light. They didn't have any. They had.
It's probably cold
nothing.
too.
And they survived. And
Wow.
they got every single one of those boys and their counselors out. So we definitely want to, say thank God for that small blessing.
Yeah, they said they had to go with divers, and then some of them didn't know how to swim either. So that's
Sure.
That's
imagine
scary.
Your first time swimming.
And
With a dive, you got to put on the mask, to breathe and swim through
as long
darkness.
as you can breathe. As
Yeah,
long
that's
as
real.
you can
Yeah,
breathe.
that's the whole
I mean,
thing.
you can't swim. You got a diver with you. He can do all the swimming you need.
Yeah, but there was a diver that ran out of air. and died too.
Wait,
happened.
wait, just
Yeah,
this
there was
happened?
one- during that. Yeah, before they saved any of the boys, there was a diver down there looking for him. He ran out of air.
Wow.
Died.
My God.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's some
Diving.
heavy stuff, man.
Condolences to his family. Because
Clearly.
he was trying to save somebody else's life and
some Game of
basically
Thrones
gave his own.
Right. That's
so
amazing.
his family will be ultimately blessed just because of that. He sacrificed himself for somebody else. I
Indeed.
mean, what greater gift can you? I mean, it's really unfortunate that he lost his life. However, his family knows that he died a hero. That's a real hero. Forget all these other heroes out here. No, that's a hero right there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's my tea, guys.
Thanks for the tea.
That was some tea. For
Absolutely, whole time. Another thing I just remembered to add on is that the switch of WKYS 93.9, Ange will be the official new radio personality for that show, along with DJ Money. DJ Money and I went to McNamara together. His name is Zach in real life. That's what I call him. But, it's all cool. People get Money Life, you know what I'm saying, in LA and all that kind of stuff. You got to call him by the DJ name. You will ride as a DJ when you only refer to the person as their DJ name and not their official government name. But shout out to him, DJ Analyze, and I believe there is one other person that I don't recall, but it's 4 different people, and Angie will be leading the entire show. So she'll be like the first woman to lead the show at WKYS in the morning for a very long time. So shout out to all of them making strides in the transition that transpired as well. All right, listen, this is the time when we do a commercial break. It's really simple. If you are an independent artist or you know of an independent artist that's dope and is following their passion, by all means necessary, please let us know about them by doing what? Simply tagging us in their post, right? Or sending us some information about them. You can find us at IAG Radio Show. That is IAG Radio Show. Or you can email us whatever you're doing that's dope at iagradioshow@gmail.com. Hey, so Torian.
Yeah. So we actually had an artist that submitted their music and told us to check it out, their album. This is Mr. Higgs. It's about to go down. This song right here is a DMB artist. Check him out. You dig?
Baby, I can't sleep without you. I wanna be with you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanna be with you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm reaching, trying to get your love. 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 As I look across over the ocean, there's something that reminds me of you. Watching how the sun hits the water, and the water reflects back the sun. I don't wanna find myself searching again, running round in circles, trying to figure out if I lost you again. No, never wanna be without you. No, baby, I can't breathe without you. I can't breathe, baby, I can't sleep without you. I wanna be with you, yeah, yeah. Wanna be with you, baby. I wanna be with you, yeah, yeah. Wanna be with you, yeah.
Hey.
I'm reaching, trying to get your love.
Hey.
I'm reaching, trying to get your love. I'm reaching,
that was his first
trying to get your love. I'm reaching, trying to get your love.
Hey.
Baby, yeah, you really got me going crazy, crazy. Even when I'm all alone, you're the only one I am on. Ooh,
Sing, Ashley. Hey.
especially when it concerns me and you. Being with you changed my life. Yeah, I really wanna be your wife. Yeah, nobody can say nothing. You're all I need. Nobody can say nothing.
Hey.
You're all I see. When we're together, there's nothing better. Come on, baby, love me.
wanna be without you. Baby, I can't breathe without you.
That's what's up.
Baby, I can't sleep without you.
Hey, you like that?
Yeah, there we go.
Who's that was singing? You said Ashley?
Ashley Howard. Ashley
she's
and I
dope.
grew up together singing in like the Charles Butler experiences, you know, throwback church experiences and everything else like that. Ashley's in Philly right now doing her thing.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was dope. All right, so this next group right here, I don't know. We don't no need to introduce them.
No,
You wanna introduce them?
I want to talk about
Okay,
this
all
right
right,
here.
all right.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity when I was teaching. I tried to do things differently, so it wasn't just boring because I was teaching science, right? And people kind of hate science, and it was 6th grade, so they're like puberty age or whatever. And I had the opportunity. I said, you know what? We need some music that will just enrich their brain so that they can be ready to take this test and be ready to learn. Because they, you know, they're coming off of lunchtime, they just bored as I don't know what, and you know, it's just not a good look. But you know, I said, you know, everybody has got to love music, no matter how young or how old they are. You have to appreciate the love for music, you know what I'm saying? And so it just happened that I turned on Dupont Brass's new single, and it was I Love Music, right now premiering here on IAG Radio Show. We played it before, but you guys weren't here. Yeah. Now we can premiere it and debut it on IAG. I Love Music, everybody.
Soldier with a motor unfold his life, cause when he get a little older, he put his fam on his shoulders. Cause where he from, dreams fade. People living in the past, cause the present cause pain. When they live and see right, got addicted to the mic, ears that are like a king eat rain. Rest, rule, and abide. If you think I ain't got it, we don't know that you lie. I do this rap on the side, play the horn, sing and compose with pride. That's the tip of the iceberg. You're Titanic, talking big, now you're all in the panic. While the industry's so manic. Most of the niggas lame, so they barely understand it.
I love music. All right, Deacon Izzy, I hear you out here. I love music. Hey. Yeah, I love music. Okay, MK Zulu, what you got right up? Hey. Bars.
All my life, all I ever know is
music.
People come and go, but one thing's for sure, this love.
I will never lose it.
My daddy taught me if you're good at something, boy, you
better use it.
And since we go way back, use it. It's only right that I choose it. Grew up in church, putting in that work up
In the choir.
Lunch with my peers, when I met I see a midget, look, that's so fine.
Hey.
And later on in school, fuck being cool, I'm trying to learn these skills. Fast forward, now your ass can pay that, couldn't see me playing, gon' tell these tales.
Hey. I feel like I'm beating my feet with this, you know what I'm saying?
That's what people always say.
I love music. Hey. I'm coming for you, Tony. Oh, I'm coming for you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, da 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 da. Hey, I love that song. Give it a round of applause for Dupont Brass is in the building on IAG Radio Show. Listen, y'all, that song, I had my students ask me, like, what do you hear? What do you feel in this song? And they were like, yo, I think I hear jazz. And, that's a foreign experience for them. But they were like, I think I hear jazz. I hear a lot of brass, some trumpets or something. I don't know. It just sounds really good, but I hear go-go. And that's what I like. I hear the go-go. And I was like, listen, it's a conglomeration of all of those, genres. You hear jazz, you hear a little, I say R&B. I feel like you got a little funk to it. You got a little bounce music to it a little bit, a little go-go. Like, I don't really know. I can't put you guys in a box. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we got it. It's something called eclectic soul.
Indeed. I mean, that's just considered the album title. Yeah, that would explain it. Thank you for the operational definition.
It's definitely a mountain part of the song.
Absolutely. And I think it's dope that you guys can put all that different feel into one song, because there's a time when like so many artists are expected to stay in one explained lane. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's like you can't explain all of your artistry because it's just too dope to be explained by that, Yeah. So congratulations to you guys for dropping that album only a few months ago, and you guys have been running tough, on a lot of these shows. Actually, we've been on the same shows either, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool. I mean, what else we gonna be on? What else y'all booking me for? You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know. I may be the opener for Dupont Brass. It's all good.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, don't.
I definitely don't think so either. So listen here. When did you all first get started and started with music separately and collectively?
All right, I will start first. I started a long time ago. I actually started on clarinet. I didn't start on tuba. So I played that for a couple years.
Oh, okay.
Didn't like it.
Why didn't you like it?
I'm not like a big fan of like high pitched tones. Like,
Okay.
Especially like when it's close to my ear, like they irritate my ears.
Vibrates too much.
Yeah, so I was always trying to play lower. I switched to bass clarinet. I was about to switch to contrabass clarinet, and I've always been a big guy. So my band director was like, "Nah, you need to be playing tuba," and he needed a tuba player. So
Okay.
I ended up switching. I just fell in love with the instrument for real. So I've been playing tuba since like my sophomore year in high school.
Wow, that's crazy. That's what's up, though. MK, we had this conversation, but let them know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. Since I could sing for real.
Absolutely.
Being in the choir, then when you were in fourth grade, they're like, "What instrument you want to play in band?" So I chose the trumpet. And then sixth grade, I started rapping, and then it just kept with all of it for real.
Absolutely. Yeah, spitting bars.
Yeah, all that.
Talk about Rice Krispie treats and gummy bears.
we'll say that. We'll say that.
Okay.
Grew up in church stuff.
Jake, yeah, the PK experience.
Oh man.
Come to the altar.
Uh-oh. Let me just say though, like Brenda's like one of the best tuba players I know. For somebody that started when they were like 15, 16, and he's not 30 yet. So that's not no little thing.
That's a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, but
Thank you, Trev.
yeah.
Johnny come lately. Yeah, exactly. Wake up, bruh.
I started playing. I was always like interested in music, but I didn't really have money to get an instrument like that. I started in like 8th grade. I wanted to play the drums. That was like the year after drumline came out. Everybody I knew wanted to play the drums.
Okay.
But my cousins, I have family from Houston. My cousins,
H-Town.
yeah. My cousins, they play trumpet. So I was like, I always wanted to be like them. I was like, let me just try this. It only has 3 buttons, so it can't be that hard.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, for real, I was like,
Whatever.
Cause I was like, all right, let me do drums or saxophone. And I looked at the sax, I was like, that's a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that. So I was like, let me just rock with this trumpet. So that was in like 8th grade. So ever since then, and then I feel like I've always been trying to write music. Like I remember my band director in high school took me to Chicago. There's a big conference for band and orchestra there every year.
Okay.
Took me to Chicago for free. I really appreciate him for that. And I just
What's his name? Shout him out.
Oh, Mr. Harley, Oxon Hill High School, yeah. Right down the street from him.
Oh.
Right down the street. So
All right.
Yeah, and he had computers in his classroom, so he let me use this program called Sibelius. That was like my first taste in writing music. And I remember like I was like listening to like Disney songs, trying to write them and stuff. so by the time I already met them at Howard, I was like a pretty good writer already. So we kind of just put
meshed
our
right
talents
there.
together.
Yeah, so it seems like you guys are actually more than just musicians. Like you guys actually like each other, which is always important. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know you guys have gigged with many of other people before, and it just doesn't gel the same way. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So what makes Dupont Brass gel so wonderfully? Like, what makes it come together so much?
Because we all from the band. We were forced to be together anyway. Like, there's probably a time where, I would say there was a time when we probably didn't like each other. I didn't really have no problem with Anthony, but I know like there are other people in the section that we started off hating each other.
Oh, okay.
And by the end of the first year,
Yeah.
you love each other because you just have to spend every
Y'all work
waking
together
moment,
all the time.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, what is your biggest inspiration so far as a band? Because, like, you guys have grown from being just street performers, and I feel like you guys will always appreciate the street, if I'm not correct, right?
Yeah.
And then now you're at a different level by which, you know, festivals are booking you all, and it's like it's a different type of sound, it's a different requirement, it's a different type of setup and everything else like that. So what are your biggest accomplishments or let's start with biggest inspirations first, and then we'll go to biggest accomplishments.
Inspirations, it's different. When I was a kid, my favorite person to listen to, like from like elementary to like, I don't know, like high school, was like Pharrell.
Okay.
I really like appreciated like the fullness of his music and like the bright sounds that he was always using.
Yeah.
Like for him to be starting off as a drummer, he had so much color in his music. You know what I mean? So, and then after that, it was like Kanye West. I know that he's kind of a hot button issue right now, but
no, he legitimately, we all appreciate Kanye West.
Yeah.
You know, he's legitimately a musical genius.
Like the way that he uses like the voice, like you can hear it in the way that I write music now, like how I like chopped up like OJ's voice for like I Love Music, or like even like songs that we do, I'll like take songs and like take something that Jared said from another song and just like chop it up. So like the way Kanye West uses the voice as an instrument was like super inspirational.
Yeah, that's what's up. Frank, what about you? What inspires you?
Well, if we're gonna talk about bands,
We're just talking about in general, in terms of music or whatever. What inspires you to be a part of Dupont Brass to make you want to continue to go forward and to be as dope as you are?
well, I mean, ever since high school, I always wanted to have my own group.
Okay.
That was always like one of my goals, just as a musician, just to have a group that is like solely mine or like shared amongst is like co ownership, like
Yeah.
is. So that's one, and then just I really love performing music, and as much as I can do it as possible, regardless of like who I'm playing with, I'm trying to do that.
Absolutely. That's dope. So, I mean, I think that's always a great thing. And then in terms of how you morph that inspiration into something being accomplished, you know, because it takes a different type of business savvy from going from the street to now booking gigs, knowing what your logo looks like, having a PNG to be like, this is my logo, taking pictures and then making sure that's chopped and screwed so it looks, you know, polished and is appreciated because you've changed and you've grown. So what are some of those accomplishments, or let's talk about those accomplishments first, like the transitions.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So the transition from us street into like becoming like festival performers, the hustle is practically the same for real. It's
okay.
It's refining another stone. Like the tactics that we use for playing at the Metro are some of the best tactics that I've learned, just as far as like distributing, getting information out to people.
What are some of those things, if you don't mind me asking? Not that you have to give away all your secrets, but just because sometimes we have people who are watching who are aspiring artists, and like one of the things that we try to change here on IAG is this idea of like this cloud of like, yeah, you have to struggle too, and there's no hand pulling or like a guide, because we all get guidance at some point. Yes, we do definitely go through some rough patches, but there's some guidance. And so we want to try to enlighten as best as we can, not take away from you all, but just, give some nuggets of information.
So first thing that I'll say is just there's going to be a lot of no's, but you have to deal with rejection in a means of like turning it into a success.
Indeed.
And in those Metro days, we encountered no a lot.
Why do you think you encountered the no during the Metro days?
Because people walk past.
I mean, people walk past that. It's a perception of like how we look, who we are, what time we're playing in the morning, what type of music that we're playing. It's a whole bunch of different factors.
So there's a whole algorithm set aside for this.
Yeah, like when you see, I mean, at the time it was just 5 of us. Well, when you see like five black males, I mean, our side of the spectrum has a different like outlook on it. They're like, oh my God, 5 black males are being positive, but like some people see us in the beginning, and their first instinct is like, why are they out here in front of our building?
Yeah.
Why are they playing? So ways to like circumvent that is just like becoming like friends with like the local like businessmen in the area, asking people to like, can you set up? Like, how can you go about setting up? If they give you the no, is there any possible way that I can make this
That's
happen?
his favorite thing to say.
Is there any possible way?
Yeah, like if you give me a no, most of the time I follow. I was like, so is there any possible way that we can make this happen? Because I mean, for no, a first given no is just usually outside of like rape culture and all that. But a first given no is usually it's not convenient for me right now. And since it's not convenient for me, no, I don't want to do it.
Right.
But how can we make this convenient for both of us to make it mutually beneficial?
Indeed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's a strategy of which just compromising, knowing what to say, how to say it, the timing of it. Yeah.
Being for 12 P's, that's something I live by to this day. That I learned when I was online. It's piss poor preparation promotes piss poor performance produces pain, whether it's mental, physical, or emotional. You must be prepared in order to succeed.
That's Batman.
Absolutely. I can totally dig it. I mean, these are things that people have to recognize. And I think a lot of artists, they don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? They just expect like, oh, I'm dope, so that should be sufficient enough. And then it's like, no, there's a whole business side to it. You have to be able to persevere. You have to be able to strategize and recognize like, okay, well, let me find my own way of making things happen. And then it's kind of like, okay, the person who said no be the same person later on who's now posting, talking about how great you are. I mean, it happens. It happened for me. So, I mean, you know, it's something that you kind of have to live by. And I guess the whole moral of the story is remain humble. And even when there's a strategy, you know, things are kind of difficult, finding ways to kind of angle it so that you're not offending people, but you know how to correct and eradicate issues that are present. So in terms of festival experiences, what is your biggest accomplishment, would you all say, as Dupont Brass? MK Zulu, Tony, what do you all think?
Biggest accomplishment? I don't know. For me, I mean, Brent is really the business genius of our group.
Yeah, he's the one who hit me up, right?
Yeah, see, so
Absolutely.
you already know. So,
but I mean, you guys have a voice too, and so his accomplishment might be uniquely different than yours.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, so mine is just like I deal with a lot of the music in the group. So a big accomplishment for us is just us like pushing our sound or just like progressing how we sound and how people perceive us. Like when we started the Metro, it was like we literally started with just 5 brass people, like, you know, like on some acapella type stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, but from that, I remember when we did the Kennedy Center, I was like, hey, let's do a piano. Let's add a piano because we're like, well, is that cool for brass to have piano? Like, are we cheating? I'm like, bro, let's just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then after we did that, Brent's like, well, you trying to add guitar? You know what I'm saying? After we added drums, so
why not?
So then,
how can we make this, you know, feasible? So, what were you saying? What's the line?
Is there any possible way?
Is there any possible way we can add this extra instrument?
So like after that, I'm just like, all right, well, if we doing that, then let's do this. So I'm always like, every time we put out music, like number one, it's different, but number two, and more importantly, it's better, I think. So and that's like, for me, that's like the biggest like chip on my shoulder for real.
Okay, that's what's up. MK?
That's definitely a part of it. I mean, I believe it's just consistent. When you're an artist or you're just trying to be great, you just got to look at the consistent reminders of like how far you've come. Yeah. And there's so many different turning points in our career already, but I think like a big one that stuck out to me was headlining the International Jazz Fest Day in Dupont Circle.
Yeah.
So like the fact that like that's where we started,
right? And
then, you know, come full circle and headline the festival.
That's pretty dope. I mean, I think it's always necessary to take time to recognize your strengths versus always criticizing yourself, because I feel like as musicians we're very sensitive to ourselves. Everybody doesn't know how sensitive we are, and then it's like, you know, we're always concerned about the reception of our music and if people are really feeling it and are we really growing and all that kind of stuff. And you know, you have to really figure out, like, is this a common tone for us, or is this just like something that, you know, needs to be better? But you know, common tones work for me, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it works for you. Absolutely. Clearly.
That's funny, yo.
That was a good one.
And R&B music.
Thank you. I try.
Oh yeah.
So in R&B music, you hear a lot of the same old lines again and again. Well, we took those lines and we put them in a song. I promise you never heard it like this, my friend. And if you won't, sing along. Let's go.
Anytime you want me to fill in, I got you covered, bro. that was a light ovation for you.
It's like they're setting the mood, okay?
Exactly. Turn the lights down low. Absolutely. So with that being, tones and everything like that, there has to be a musical director. So Tony, are you the musical director for Dupont Brass?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things that you've had to grow in terms of setting up that cadence, like knowing the tone and the feel and the vibe and all that kind of stuff? Because that's like a big deal. Like people don't really know how big of a deal a musical director is.
I have to credit this a lot to like my mom, for real. She put me onto a lot of music when I was a kid. I mean, there really wasn't a time where music wasn't playing in our house. Like my mom's not a musician, but she's an avid consumer of music.
Yeah.
Like she even hits me up now. She doesn't really, she doesn't have an iPhone, so she calls me Glenn. That's my middle name.
Okay.
My dad's name is Anthony. So she'd be like, Glenn, hey, can you make me a mixtape, or like, can you download some MP3s for me?
Come through with the mixtape, Mom.
Yeah, like, so I'm her plug now, but she was definitely my plug when I was little.
Oh, the reverse.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's that, and then because we were in marching band, that's how I was introduced to Earth, Wind, and Fire. From Mr. Harley, and then and Mr. Washington, Mr. Newsom, when we got to Howard. And then and I just always kind of just had my own vision for what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I just take those things and put it together. And then I always leave room for them to do their thing within the framework of what I've created.
Yeah, that's so dope. Listen, what did you have to do to become a better artist, like individually? Brent, what did you have to do to be a better artist?
Be open to more ideas.
Ideas like in what regard?
Expanding the group, and then
to more musicians.
More musicians. And then really focusing on a new market of like rebranding.
Okay.
And then just realizing that I cannot do everything.
Right. That's what's up. Knowing your strengths and your weaknesses is really important, right? That's dope. MK, what your thoughts are?
What was the question again?
The question was because he was talking about.
All they do to get better. Really just always being ready. Like Anthony works real fast, so I try to work just as fast as him.
Okay.
Like so he'll send me something, and like ever since after the Kennedy Center, he started asking me like, "Hey, why don't you write a verse to this?" So I'm like, because I've been wanting to like. Reopen myself and reintroduce myself as a lyricist for a long time. Because everyone knew me as Jared, the trumpet player. So and anytime someone gives me the opportunity to write, I'm always ready. Okay.
Be prepared, be ready. Proper preparation will help you to not have poor, piss poor morally situations. I guess that's what it is, with a little TIN added into that.
I'll write it down before it's over.
Oh, okay, bet. I've heard it plenty of times. Yeah, exactly. Prepare yourself so you ain't talking about, oh man, I messed up. That's basically what it is. Come through the vocal exercises. Okay. What is the hardest thing being an independent artist? What is the hardest thing that you think is related to being an independent artist?
Keeping everybody on the same page that you even like riding with.
Who are you talking about riding with? Like riding with who? Who's riding with you? The fans, the
fans,
group,
the group, both of that. I think like NWA is like a perfect example, of just how hard it can be to just keep 3 talent, or not even 3, 5, 10, 8, however many group of people it is. Yeah.
Is it total? It's a total of 9 people in the group.
Like we're all talented. We all have our own agendas. We all have our own things to do, but at the same time, we got to come together and make what we were doing together work.
Right. I can dig it. Anybody else want to chime in on what you think is the hardest thing for you to be as an independent artist?
You gotta stay inspired. Sometimes it's difficult. Because you gotta write when you feel like it and when you don't. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So even when you don't feel like it, you still have to find a way to create something that's actually that you can be proud of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you gotta stay inspired and just push yourself. Be pressed.
Well, the one question that I always ask every artist that comes in here is about social media. How do you all feel about social media? I'm just gonna leave it like that and ask you to chime in how you feel.
In the world we live in, social media is critical for any artist performance. Mm-hmm. And whether you like it or not, it's here to stay. It's going to evolve, and if you don't evolve with it, you're just not going to be here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, dang. Yeah. That sounds a little harsh. That's that.
It's the truth, though.
That's what it is.
That's that Suge Knight coming out right now. I was about to say it.
I what it was. I told y'all.
Yeah, the whole time it's Suge Knight.
Social media, but I know I have to make it a part of my life in order for what I want to make happen and for that to be successful.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? I mean,
social media can be difficult, I think, especially with a group like us, because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, we some brothers from Howard, but like we started out with such a clean image because the tuition sign, and then that leads to like little kids liking us and coming up and playing, and then you're playing for birthday parties and family events.
People. Yeah.
So it's like that's great, and I still want to do that, but at the same time, I still want to be myself,
a grown man.
Yeah, so it's
because you dropped the F-bomb in I Love Music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that took
and
that was
a
the
lot
PK.
Of courage. That took the PK, to a whole different level.
Yeah,
you had to go and talk to Jesus, tell him all about your problems.
Had to let him know.
Yeah,
just,
you know what I'm saying?
Let me know that
it's gonna be okay, guy. You already knew before what was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Whole time.
Very true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, all that, even down to like I posted some foolishness on the Instagram story yesterday, and it's like I know 2 years ago we probably wouldn't have put that on there. It's just we're already very like funny guys.
Yeah.
But just trying to open up and put it on social media.
It's totally different. Yeah. I mean, like Tony, I've commented on your posts of like doing the acapella joints of you just kind of rocking out, letting people know like your ability to be an artist, outside of just that, because I don't even have that app. So that must be an app that's on legitimately iPhones. But definitely, I mean, like it's like trying to find your own lane and sticking in that. You know what I'm saying? And I think every artist that has been on this show has talked about how they've either had to take a break from social media because they found themselves comparing themselves to someone else. It doesn't matter if they're a chef, if they're a poet, if they are a dancer, if they are an author, like musician, rapper, whatever. Every single person that has been on this show has not near one person that has honestly said that they never had a problem with social media.
I ain't never took no social media break.
I mean, but I feel like we faced that at Howard, like off breaks, because it's like those feelings of like inadequacy or something like that, where you compare yourself to somebody else, is like.
We were just talking about
every class you have to perform in some kind of way in front of your peers, in front of your teacher, in front of girls, guys, whatever it is.
Okay.
So it's like
rise to the occasion and fall.
Yeah, it's for real. You got to sink or swim. Especially our teacher, like, dude is like, I love Mr. Irby, but like, I almost dropped some thug tears when I auditioned for him. Cause he just goes that hard.
Thug tears though?
No, he fried me.
No, he will tell you. He'll be like, he straight up. He was like, look. I'm not even gonna do his voice.
Do the voice.
I'm not even gonna do it.
Come through with the impression, though.
Do the voice. I'm gonna do the voice and tell him what you say about me.
Look, he. I mean, one time we had a gig. We all in jazz band.
Okay.
We basically the trumpet section because it's only 4 trumpets in jazz band.
Okay.
And the three of them were in Dupont brass at the time. So we pull up. We're late. He locked us out, and so then he finally let us in, and he was like, "Look, everybody in the eye." He was like, "If you're gonna be late, you keep the." Out of here, like straight up, like
yeah,
you know what I mean. So comparing us to other people and stuff, like we didn't even feel that.
So are you on time now? Do you arrive on time now to stuff? Or are you still late? So you just don't care? Cause
no.
You don't care.
I was on time. I just didn't come to the right place first.
Right. So that opportunity to switch things up is always imperative. Yeah. I mean, listen, I think you're right, but I still feel like as an artist, you're always sensitive. Like you still are concerned. I feel like it's the love-hate relationship where you have to get validation, unfortunately, from others in order for you to get gigs. Like that's just what it is. And it's kind of like, even if some people are gigging so much, they don't even have time for social media. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, you go to their page and it's like, oh, they only have 5 likes on something, but they're gigging. They're legitimately gigging, not praying for a gig, and then there's other people who are just faithfully on social media, you know, making it seem like they got a lot of stuff going on, and it's just like a toss up, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard because I feel like social media managing that is a lot in of itself. Like it's a job in of itself, especially if you're part of a group and then you have your own situations that are going on. You know what I'm saying? But listen, guys, if you want to have the opportunity to enjoy Dupont Brass up live in person, this is an opportunity for you to do so on August 4th. They will be performing live at Songbird. Tickets are on sale in advance right now for only $10. Yes, that is $10. Holy smackaronis. $10. Listen, it's affordable. It's affordable for you. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it right here. Whole time. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're at the door because, you know, you just kind of forgot, you know, we've all forgotten and we've been late. We won't lock you out the door this time, right? You just got to pay $15. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make it up by paying $5 at, you know, at the door. But either way, it's going to be a dope night. And I love how you guys did like Angry Birds and kind of did everything. I feel like in order to be part of the group, you have to have a mustache. So obviously, I won't be able to make
That's
it.
what everybody's been saying.
Yeah.
At one point, it was a full-fledged beard, for real.
Oh, yeah. I definitely can't do that. At times, I feel like I may have but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we'll have to make some arrangements for when I come and we actually do something dope together. You know what I'm saying? Because that has to happen. Because we're on the last couple of gigs, literally, I've been on before you, and you guys have been after me like the last couple of gigs.
You're a hard person to go after, too.
No, what are you talking about?
I know. Nah, when I pulled up to the Jonah Watkins Park, we was like, "Who is that?" We was like, "They rocking."
Y'all lying like a mug because y'all just on here.
No. That's the thing. We don't. If we don't feel that, we would be the last people to be on some fake hype you up stuff.
I can guarantee. I feel Brett would probably be like, "Nah."
Hey,
we're not gonna say no, but we're not gonna say yes. We just gonna smile. You know what I'm saying? It's like Mr. Irby. Mr. Irby always taught us like,
you know how you sound.
You know how you sound, or you ain't fired. We don't need you no more.
Oh,
you know, like, so you don't sound bad.
Oh my God,
But
I'd
no,
probably be
you're good,
crying
though.
every day.
No, you're good. You have a great voice.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. That's dope. We should try to work together. And then I think the idea behind this is that I feel like in DC we don't collaborate enough. And I feel that we often do fake support and it's not genuine and it's fake. You know, it's just, we kind of are popcorn effect. Like if somebody is popping now, that's when we appreciate them, you know, and it's unfortunate. And I just hope that through IAG that people get to see you all more so than just focusing on a single that just came out or an album that you just dropped, that people understand the things that you had to do to strive for excellence, how you had to overcome. It wasn't always easy. You didn't always have a yes, but you guys made sure that you guys were waking up when you could, money or not, getting out there with your instruments and just playing because you guys love music, and that hopefully you guys were all on the same tone because you have a bomb as, you know, musical director Tony, you know what I'm saying? And so we appreciate Brent and his business savvy, right? Because that's also imperative as an artist to kind of have that. And, you know, booking gigs is tough, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody doesn't think it's tough, but it can be tough, especially if you want, you know, higher paying gigs. And I mean, a band of 9, y'all got to be paid really, really real, you know what I'm saying? So that Suge Knight experience has to come out because y'all need to eat, you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling y'all. I'm not going to say anything, but
We don't want to see
just
it.
let it be known.
We don't want no problems, all right, whole time.
We don't want no problems. Think about it.
Hey, we don't want no problems.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Look at that.
We don't want no problems. But listen, you know, you got to make somebody love you. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah, actually, you know what? We just want to stay there because, you know, we're going to go into some brass tracks and Xavier Omar.
Got
Stay
you.
there just because we, you know, run out of time a little bit. So let's go ahead and hit this.
turn this up.
I don't wanna see you go. I wish that you could stay around, but you left, so let's just keep it there. Now you're in the past, making life so you gotta stay there. Stay there. If you're in the past, baby, won't you just stay there? Won't you stay there? Stay there. Ain't no coming back, baby. Won't you just stay there? Won't you stay? 'Cause I ain't got the time to second guess or look behind. 'Cause baby, I ain't got the time to look again.
got nothing here for you. When the last time that I shed a tear for you? A little case of amnesia. Oh, the brain pretty strange, cause I still ain't forget I don't need ya. Turn it up in my speaker. I won't go living in the past. Won't go living in the old days. I'm on another way. But you gotta stay there. If you're in the past, baby, won't you just stay there? Won't you stay there? Stay there. Ain't no coming back, baby. Won't you just stay there? Won't you stay there? I got the time to second guess or look behind. 'Cause baby, I got the time to look again and change my mind. Stay there. Ain't but a follow, ain't nothing but a block. Ain't nothing but a leave me alone. Ain't nothing but a stop. I said it 2,000 ways better than none. You ain't the one, and I ain't the one. Let's go to baby you until you move along. I hope you're healthy and well-hearted and strong. I hope your mind is at ease with this. Wish you peacefulness and all of those good things. All that being said, I mean you really gotta.
That's beautiful. Yo.
Dang. That's real nice, T.
Yeah, that's Brass Tracks. They're the ones that produce No Problems for Chance.
Yeah.
They super dope artists. They met in school too. So that goes a long point, what education brings and the connections you can make from pursuing your education.
Absolutely. Listen, y'all, I want you guys right now to go ahead to go to social media, go follow and support, not just follow them, but support Dupont Brass. It's at Dupont Brass, you know what I'm saying? And you can follow all of these gentlemen individually and collectively as well. And thank you guys so much for being on here with us. We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Whole time. So things that are to catch up on this week, since we've been off for a week. It feels like almost 3 weeks though. First and foremost, I got to give a major shout out to Sarah Fraser for having me on her show, Hey Phrase, on this past Monday. It aired on July 3rd. No, it aired on July 4th. It was a dope experience. I was literally the first independent artist that she's ever had on her podcast. And it was crazy because, she's a Fox 5 correspondent. Hey. The other thing that was crazy is I didn't even know that Easy Street was the person until I got there, until Sarah told me. She was like, yeah, so how do you know Easy Street? Because he loves you. And I was just like, well, I've met him once before. But I didn't know that he put a stamp on the Boot Up remix, which is really dope, and it's very it's a big deal. It's a majorly big deal. And again, I want to thank everybody who's been requesting the song, who's been playing it. A lot of the DJs been playing it. A lot of other musicians have been like, yo, they put their stamp on it. I've been getting a lot of love and support from some really, really acclaimed musicians, which matters a lot. And it's funny because it's behind, it's 3 women that put it together. Deanna Hawkins is was a musical director for 3 years on the road with Music Soul Child and hooked me up with the Pocket Experience. And Kendra Rutledge, who is my bass player, put a little stank on it. And shout out to Face, who is the sound engineer who actually mixes stuff for Raheem Devon that make it do what it do. Like a lot of musicians, it's important about that mix. It doesn't matter how great you sound recorded if that mix is whack. So I shout out to everybody who has been really helping me with that, and is pushing it. I mean, I have a new single that I dropped on Sarah Fraser's show, Hey Phrase, but I was like, dang, Boot Up Remix isn't done yet, so let me fall back on that. But I will be having the pleasure of performing at under the Big Top on this Friday for the Universe Soul Circus, opening the show for them on this Friday, which is really dope. And thanks, Trev. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm pretty ecstatic about that. Last night, Treb and I were able to go to the Heartbeat, the Heartbeat Conga Hour, where at Vox Wave with Hosea Williams, who stamped it for the go-go community, which is really different and most important because like I was intertwining myself and crossing over into a different genre of music as an R&B artist. And as you all know, go-go is taken very, very seriously. And there's like an entire culture. There's a whole experience behind that. And so for Hosea to stamp my version, which came out first, is really, a dope feel. And I mean, that's all that matters in my opinion. I feel like now I'm good. Now we can go ahead and get it on and popping. You know what I'm saying? And I want to give a shout out to DJ Treb for holding me down on the ones and twos. Absolutely. That's what you got to do. You got to support yourself. Let people know what's good. You know what I'm saying? Again, for being the first person to break the record. It was actually broken here on I was say WPGC. It was broken here at IAG radio show. Yeah, so it's pretty dope to break your own record on your own radio show. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm speaking some things into your future, Treb. You about to be on WPGC for some reason. All right, speak that into. Okay, clearly. Absolutely. And obviously DJ Reds, who's been pushing it and has been in rotation, everything else like that. I'll be on his show next weekend on Downtown Locker Room. And then let's check out the stuff. Torian, you want to go ahead and reach out for the vegan cookout experience?
Yeah.
Even though that's my judge.
A lot of stuff going on in the city this week. July 15th, get the vegan cookout at I guess it's called Sankofa Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, so check them out. That seems pretty dope. Also, the Black United Front is having having For the Culture Happy Hour Friday, July 20th. You definitely want to check out that. And Rewind by Decades. It's having an 80s vibe and weekend. That's BMO Productions. That's that crew. So it's a lot to do in the city. Definitely check out and support independent artists along the way while you have some fun out there.
Absolutely. Well, listen, guys, it's been real. If you are an independent artist, once again, or you know of independent artists, by all means necessary, please let us know about them. We are here to support you. Honestly, not fake support, no shade. We want to support you, especially if you're good. Now, don't get us wrong. If you're not good, we just going to babysit you and, see the growth in you. But, if you're really good, we definitely want to support you.
Keeping it real.
Absolutely. Because, it's this, we got to change the idea just because you're an independent artist that, will just automatically just be like, it can be trash and we just going to support you. No, come with a great product. And I think that's always the important part. Like, I don't care what you do. It's always about the presentation, and we'll support you regardless, no matter if you're just starting out or not. We'll support you because that's what we love to do. So tag us at IAG Radio Show. If you know somebody who's dope, who just, speaking of kitchen, Craig, he just opened up, Chef, what is his name? Chef. I have to post it, but he just literally opened up his first restaurant, and that's a big deal as a chef. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, working for somebody else, it's the same idea of corporate America. Working for somebody else, making food, or even doing private parties and all that kind of stuff. That's cool. But having your entire your own restaurant, that's like, it's like the equivalent of having like your own studio and, having people come in and you help mix their stuff, which is pretty dope. So shout out to everybody who's pursuing their passion and overcoming that. And yeah, if you want a commercial on IAG, it's good to mention that we have started a partnership with Spark, so we will be part of a network on television, which is we're moving things up, trying to move things on and go to the next level. As we grow, hopefully you guys will grow as well. And we love you guys so much for all that you've done for us and to continue to support. But let's go out here, and since MK Zulu was like, you need to play this Boot Up remix, we're going to play this Boot Up remix as we are rolling out of here tonight. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you for all that. Dupont Brass should probably do a little cover this joint. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. You already did that.
So what? It could be live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can invite us on stage and we rock.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Like I'm touching the ceiling.
When I'm with you, I can't breathe. Boy, you do something to me. Ooh. Get over you till I find something new to get me high like you. Hey, yeah.
Get your tickets. Get your tickets. I listen to my heart go badu. Hey, a bitty badu. And my heart go badu. A bitty badu. It just won't stop. It goes badu. A bitty badu. And then my heart goes badu.
All right. Oh, my bad.
It just won't stop. It goes. How
All right, we good?
Thank you, Daddy.